Echo and HarperAudio present The Moon That Turns You Back, Poems by Hala Alyan. This is the author. For Maryam, I love you infinity. Interactive fiction. House Saints. I want the miracle that makes me ordinary. To kiss the back of her hand. I pray to the rain, and when I pray to open and name what surfaces. My favorite house is my mother, the heart muffled like a speaker. There are no gardens here, only another year. The poplar leaves like open palms, up, then out, then waiting to be torn. I want the miracle that makes me ordinary. To resurrect into a forked river. The mountain saints are gone and it's a new country now. The women fold the desert into a blanket. Dear cross-stitch pattern of birds, dear patron saint of hyphenates, of lentils and clean feet, of Fatme and her 7 names, of returning and tap water and Bismillah. I want the miracle that makes me ordinary. To leave with the blackbirds. The Mediterranean is an accent. The Nile is an accent. My father is an accent, all 1,000 of him, raking their throats with a nicked opera. The saint sees cinder in the tea leaves. The saint turns a daughter into blue, and the pollution is blue, and the smoke from our mouths is blue, and each new blue is morning. The saint touches the welt, and it turns rhinestone. The saint says, return to your grandmother, she's left the door unlocked. The saint says, stop this, I'm sorry, there is nothing that turns the clock back to its first hour. The saint sees cinder in the tea leaves. The saint turns a daughter into crickets outside the window. The dead are not dead. They are pinned to each siren, hot pink, green, white, like beaks to a wire. It is not enough to say love in Arabic. You must say, be the thing that buries me, that turns the clock back to its first hour. The saint sees cinder in the tea leaves. The saint turns a daughter into a door, from spackled sky to spackled room. You don't need a house to spread out your rug. Maybe loz trees and peach trees and a rooster that wakes us every morning, some animal tongue that turns the clock back to its first hour. Yes, I know. The thread you have to keep finding over again to follow it back to life. I know. Impossible sometimes. Jean Valentine. Remains. My grandmother kept 4 tablecloths in a cabinet the color of bones, in a city named after wells, which is where my mother calls country, which is where my mother calls me American, which is where we left that tablecloth, Damask named after Damascus, which is where men steered their ships, which is where men bought silk, yards and rivers and wheels of it, which is where my grandmother was born, not Latakia, which is where she lived, or Kuwait, which is where she married, or Beirut, which is where she is now born. Time travelers. It's not going back, not exactly, but more that we never left, that we are still sprawled on that grass, or giggling into each other's shoulders in the last booth, our thighs sticky against the torn leather. This is the answer to nostalgia, and I must get back to them, twirling in our girl bodies. Me bending over to touch my toes is the skirt too short, spilling then licking the vodka that tastes like nectarines. I don't know what makes youth. A 5th of Bailey's, a pretty hand against your ass, a record that skips in the goddamn song that still makes you cry. Look.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?